nominal altitude for drogue chute deploy.
Copy that, SpaceX. We show the same.
And those comms confirm that we have regained comms with Dragon, and they're getting ready for drogue deploy here shortly.
Yeah, I love these tracking shots. Again, that is Dragon in the center of your screen. We've got visuals of it, and we're expecting drogue chutes to deploy, and then the main chutes shortly after that here in a couple of minutes. Again, a lot of excitement for Inspiration 4 crew's return, waiting on drogue chute deploy. That happens at about 18,000 feet.
Dragon, brace for drogue window.
Copy that, SpaceX. We're bracing.
On re-entry, the team's experiencing about 3 to 5 Gs.
We heard some words to have them brace for a deploy. They will feel the difference in speed when the chutes do deploy. That was what the core mentioned there. That's such a cool shot of Dragon coming back down to Earth. It looks very fast in this camera view here.
Yeah, so this is a great shot of Dragon looking off at the drogue chutes. A lot of communication going back and forth between the crew and ground station, but the drogue's job is to slow the vehicle down from about 350 miles an hour to 120. We are expecting the main chutes for these to cut off and the main chutes to come shortly after this.
Dragon, these are 4 healthy mains. Dragon, descent right nominal. You have visual from the Cubby forces.
Copy that, SpaceX. Good news.
And at 4:04 p.m. Pacific time, we do have confirmation that the main chutes have deployed, and you can see that on your left-hand screen of a camera looking forward above the Dragon capsule, looking at those 4 main chutes.
1,000.
Copy, 1,000.
The next event coming up now is a visual confirmation of Splashdown. You can see the Dragon capsule on your right-hand screen slowly coming down now. We've talked about how fast the vehicle has been traveling, but they will be touching down approximately 15 miles per hour when they touch the Atlantic Ocean there.
800, SpaceX.
We copy 800.
Now, the Dragon 1 program had great success with the water landing, with 20 successful splashdowns over the course of that program, 9 of which were carried out by flight-proven Dragon spacecraft.
And this is a great shot. Dragon continuing to descend back towards Earth, again, targeting a landing, a splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean.
Copy 600. Copy 400.
200, we're bracing.
We copy 200. SpaceX's Splashdown maintenance. Copy code 1. Copy standard 1. Inspiration 4, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home to planet Earth. Your mission has shown the world that space is for all of us and that everyday people can make extraordinary impacts in the world around them. Thank you for sharing your leadership, hope, generosity, and prosperity. And congratulations on your incredible journey.
Thanks so much, SpaceX. It was a heck of a ride for us. It's just getting started.
Copy, just getting started.
So welcome back. Inspiration 4, the Dragon Resilience Capsule has returned. The crew has returned. What a phenomenal, phenomenal visual that we got. And I love that Jared said, we're just getting started.
Right. This is the beginning of their journey, of the next steps to the new era in human space flight. And just, you know, what an incredible mission. What an amazing view watching them touch down and splash down into the Atlantic Ocean. You could hear the crowd here so excited to welcome the crew back home.
Yes. So we do have a couple of events that need to happen first before we can start to get the crew out of the capsule. So you can see some boats headed towards Dragon. You know, the first job is to make sure that the area around Dragon is safe to approach, and then we'll go in there, start rigging the Dragon up to be able to hoist later on onto our main recovery vessel. So we also heard that Jared had given us the confirmation of stable 1. What that means is Dragon has splashdown and is upright. There's also stable 2. Dragon can actually be upside down or sideways. It is waterproof and has systems where it can pump seawater into some bladders to help keep it upright. So again, stable 1 is the best possible scenario that we can achieve, and that's what we see on screen right now.
And just something to note, there are going to be a few operations that happen before the crew can get out of the capsule. So they will be strapped into their seats, remain strapped into their seats throughout these operations until basically until hatch open once we have the Dragon capsule on board the recovery vessel. So we do have some events coming up next. The fast boats will be approaching the Dragon capsule. They'll be doing some inspections to make sure that it is safe before we begin operations to lift Dragon out of the water onto the recovery vessel.
Dragon, SpaceX's go for recovery personnel to approach. Expect personnel alongside in 1 minute.
And copy that, SpaceX. We're looking forward to seeing you.
And Dragon, with that, we request to come aboard via display cam.
And say again, SpaceX.
Requesting permission to come aboard via display cam.
Permission granted. Come aboard, SpaceX.
Now what you're seeing on your screen is the recovery team approaching Dragon. Again, they will be starting to do some inspections. They'll do some ordnance and hypergol checks just to make sure that the vehicle is safe before they begin rigging Dragon to bring the vehicle onto the recovery vessel. And I think on the left-hand screen, that is someone on a jet ski helping to pull some of those chutes out of the water. They did automatically detach from Dragon once the vehicle splashed down. So now they are removing them from the water.
Yeah, it is super important that we cut those main parachutes. We don't want any type of wind or even the water to pull or drag the Dragon capsule. But when we did see Dragon splash down, we also saw really good visuals of the mains being cut as well. There is boat personnel that are going to go out there and collect those chutes as part of the recovery operation. We are expecting about an hour from splashdown until we can get the crew outside of the capsule. Again, we're going through a series of safety checks and some other operations to get Dragon hoisted, rigged up, and lifted up onto the main recovery vessel before we can open that side hatch and get the crew out. It was very, very exciting. I think the couple of seconds leading up to splashdown, you could hear a pin drop here in Hawthorne. But as soon as we made contact with the water, excitement erupted, and it was just amazing.
Again, this is the Inspiration 4 crew, the first all-civilian mission to orbit with 4 incredible crew on board, and we now have an inside view on Dragon as they are sitting on the ocean water awaiting for the recovery operations. Looks like we got a selfie.
I think Dr. Cyan is taking some post-splashdown pictures. Well-deserved.
And again, this is standard procedure. We do have some crew climbing on board Dragon. They're performing some inspections, just making sure that the vehicle is safe prior to the next step.
Dragon SpaceX, hypergol sweeps and ordnance checks are nominal. Rigging is in progress. Approximately 5 minutes until capsule lift. Stand by for PMC.
Some excitement from the crew on board. And if you noticed the difference in view, the camera actually has not moved, but the seats, from what you've seen previously of this view, the astronauts are actually rotated a little bit more forward, and that is for these return operations instead of the reclined back position. So that's why the view looks a little bit different.
So on the right-hand side, we do see the rigger climbing up on the Dragon capsule to attach some hardware, so that way Dragon can be lifted and hoisted out of the water using our main recovery ship, Ghost Searcher, which will be approaching the vehicle in a few minutes here. So that hardware is important, and that's how we get Dragon out. We hoist it and we actually put it on what's called a nest. And then we'll perform some more checkouts, make sure everything is good before we open up that side hatch.
You can see one of the techs climbing on board crew is the Dragon capsule's exterior. They do train for this event. They do go through a lot of training to make sure that they are qualified to perform these operations.
Dragon SpaceX, wavy public.
If you're just now joining us, you are tuned into the Inspiration 4 mission. The all-civilian crew has now returned back to Earth. What you're seeing on your right-hand screen are recovery operations currently in progress. The crew has already done their safety check to make sure that the vehicle was okay to approach, and now they have begun some rigging operations. They're installing some of the rigging hardware that they need to be able to lift the capsule out of the water onto the recovery vessel. And on your left-hand screen is the live view inside of Dragon of the crew. And it's just been such an incredible mission so far. Like, they lifted off on Wednesday, expected to be in space for about 3 days. They were able to perform some science experiments. They were able to do some charity events, talk to, again, this mission was all for a fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So they got to talk to some St. Jude patients live while in space and doing backflips.
Yeah, and to think that this crew really formed about 6 months ago, and we cannot stress that this is the first all-civilian crew. Their day job is not being an astronaut. They were trained in the same simulations and same manuals that previous Dragon crew members were trained in, and they got together, threw together this amazing mission. Again, providing fundraising capabilities for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They gave us a live on-orbit event yesterday. They spent a couple of days in space, did some art, did some photography, did some somersaults, and now they're back on Earth. And in a few minutes here, they're gonna take a fresh breath of fresh air from fresh breath of Earth air for the first time in about 3 days. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear the stories that they have to tell us. You know, we did get some of those live events, but they were out there for 3 days. That's quite a bit of time being out in microgravity in a spacecraft. So I'm really excited to hear what their experiences are really like. With the NASA crew missions, we typically get to hear, some of their thoughts of the Dragon spacecraft. Would love to hear more from, just a all-civilian crew this time around, not professional astronauts.
Yeah, and I think it's as we see the sun setting on the right-hand side, the boats are equipped with very strong lights to make sure that they can continue the operation in case the sun does go down. But one thing I do want to reiterate is weather and how great that's been for us. We had a phenomenal day in terms of weather Wednesday during ascent, and on return, you can look at the ocean now, and it's not choppy. There's no waves, essentially. It's basically like pool water, and so the Dragon capsule is there. It's floating there now because it's not choppy. The recovery team can get in there, do their jobs without worrying about any other external factors.
Yeah, that's extremely important. Safety is number one here at SpaceX, so we always want to make sure that we're keeping these events during an environment that is safe, and weather plays a very big factor into that. And not just for the crew on board Dragon, but the recovery team there, which you've been currently seeing climbing on Dragon, installing the rigging. They're on boats, so it's really important to make sure that the weather conditions are accommodating to these operations.
Yeah, so we are expecting the team to finish installing all of the equipment needed to lift Dragon out of the water in a few minutes. And we should see another boat approach the Dragon capsule, and that will be where we essentially hook it up to a crane on the back of the boat, lift it up out of the water and onto the recovery vessel. The Dragon vehicle is looking nice and toasty. I think if we had daytime shots, it would look essentially like a marshmallow. Again, when it's re-entering the Earth, it can get quite hot on the exterior, and the Pika material is doing its job and absorbing the brunt of that heat. But there's a side hatch. I mean, that's where the crew is going to egress out of. That side hatch was sealed 3 days ago, and it hasn't been opened since. And so, typically, missions with crew go to the International Space Station. The crew will ingress and egress out of that top hatch that you see there. But because we weren't going to the International Space Station for this mission, we installed that super cool cupola, and that hatch is going to stay closed. But the team will be exiting out of the side hatch in a few minutes here.
Right now, we're currently performing recovery operations. We have a crew there on one of the fast boats installing rigging onto the Dragon capsule. This will help them lift the Dragon capsule onto the recovery vessel into what we call the nest, the Dragon nest on board. We'll reorient and locate the vehicle on the recovery ship in a position where we can open the hatch and then have the crew step out for the first time since Wednesday. When they open the hatch, we will have a medical officer check on them first. It's pretty standard procedure to make sure, they have been out in space for 3 days. So we do want to make sure that the crew is okay. There will be a team there helping them every bit of the way to make sure that they are okay as they walk to the medical room on the recovery vessel. What you're seeing right now on your screen on the left-hand side is a live view inside of Dragon. View from behind the displays on your left-hand side there. That is Commander Jared Isaacman, and to his right is Dr. Cyan Proctor, who was the pilot for this mission. They're now back down on Earth. What an amazing homecoming day for this crew. Such an exciting mission.
So after landing, to recap the events, it took about 10 minutes for the recovery crew to complete their safety checks. And then once they completed that, the team began to prepare Dragon to be lifted onto the recovery vessel. As part of the preparation for this lift, one member of the recovery team that we saw on screen climbed on top of the capsule, so that way they can attach Dragon's hoist rings and connect the lifting lines. Again, we are estimating about an hour after splashdown until we are able to raise Dragon up and out of the water onto the recovery boat and remove the crew from the spacecraft. And then, Jesse just mentioned, after medical checkouts, the crew will return to the Cape by helicopter and be rejoined by their friends and family.
If you're just now joining us, you are watching the Inspiration 4 mission. The Inspiration 4 crew, first all-civilian crew to orbit, is now back down on Earth and currently in progress of the recovery operations. They're currently out in the Atlantic Ocean as the team is rigging up the capsule to get it ready to be lifted onto the recovery vessel. And what you're seeing on your left-hand screen is a live view of the crew inside of the vehicle at the moment.
Yeah, we splashed down just a few minutes after 4 p.m. Pacific time. We also had great visuals of the Dragon spacecraft returning back to Earth. We saw some really great shots from the Dragon vehicle looking upwards to the drogue chutes and the main parachutes. And then we, had a nice soft water landing in the Atlantic Ocean. And again, we're waiting for the rigging equipment to be installed. That way we can get the vehicle out of the water and then the crew out of the Dragon Resilience capsule.
Rigging is complete. Approximately 5 minutes until capsule lift.
Okay, copy that, 5 minutes, and we are back to in-flight entertainment.
We copy in-flight entertainment.
The crew is having a great time with in-flight entertainment. So yeah, it looks like they're all in great spirits. We have a really cool shot on the right-hand side of the screen. That is the back of Ghost Searcher, the main recovery vessel. Dragon is in the background, as well as some other supporting recovery vessel ships as well.
Yeah, this is, again, pretty incredible to see where we are today with this mission, first all-civilian crew. And ironically, it's so much like they just went and flew on an airplane as they're watching movies, waiting to, deboard the spacecraft. And again, this mission is a fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We've got some great news that we've raised up to $157 million so far. How incredible to do such a inspiring mission like this, as well as raise $157 million for such an amazing cause.
Yeah, so in the last 90 minutes, essentially, we raised $4 million. Keep it up, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, it's going to a great cause, and it's benefiting a lot of wonderful people.
Again, currently in progress are recovery operations. So far, they've already inspected the capsule for safety before installing some rigging hardware. We got some comms that they will be ready for, that rigging setup is complete, and they will be lifting the vehicle in a few minutes here. Again, this is Ghost Searcher, and what you're seeing on your right-hand screen at the end of Ghost Searcher is the Dragon Nest. It's basically the nest or stand that Dragon will be lifted onto and set into. We also heard some comms that the crew is in good spirits, watching some entertainment while they wait to be lifted onto Ghost Searcher and for hatch opening so that they can egress the vehicle.
Yeah, they've been busy doing a lot of work for a lot of great causes. So now that they're back on land, we want to give them a very smooth experience. They can just sit back, relax. We'll take care of everything else. We can see that the gap between the Ghost Searcher boat and Dragon is starting to close. We are expecting to hoist Dragon out of the water and again put it on that nest that you see on the bottom middle of your screen in a few minutes here.
And weather has been just great for us today, actually through this whole mission. This is such a unique mission where we did have to ensure that weather upon liftoff as well as return would be well. And not just the weather in the atmosphere, but the water where we are landing. And you can see on your screen that it's very calm. This makes it really a lot easier for the crew to perform the recovery operations. Just great weather all around for this mission.
So we just saw the crew tossing a line to the other member of the recovery crew on the Dragon capsule itself. And so this last bit of distance, we want to make sure that it is nice and controlled for the Dragon vehicle to come on in and make its way up the recovery vessel.
For safety purposes, the crew does remain strapped into their seats throughout this entire process as they are going to be lifted onto the boat. And again, they will have the first person to check on them when the hatch opens will be a medical officer to ensure that they are safe and healthy before they start egressing the vehicle. And that'll be when they will be allowed to get out of their seats. We've got a crew member on the Dragon capsule at the moment. And again, they are helping with the rigging and hoisting process to lift that Dragon capsule onto the recovery vessel. And again, they have done several hours of training for this particular role. So they are professionals.
Dragon, brace for capsule lift.
You heard some comms. They are getting ready to lift the Dragon capsule. You saw the last recovery crew member hop off of the Dragon capsule into the water and onto the fast boat there as they clear the way for lifting the Dragon capsule.
And here comes Dragon out of the water.
Incredible. Dragon is being lifted onto the recovery vessel into the Dragon nest. That is what you see them setting the vehicle down on right there.
You can see at the very bottom of Dragon some water coming out. Again, that's the ballast system that helps keep Dragon upright in the seawater or in the ocean. So it's functioning as designed, and Dragon is now on the recovery vessel.
Dragon's almost a little bit of a mix of a rocket, spacecraft, and a little bit of a boat.
It does everything you need it to.
Yeah, exactly.
Dragon, welcome aboard the recovery vessel. Recovery personnel are completing final checks. Stand by for translation to egress platform in approximately 1 minute.
Copy. Thanks. Good to be aboard.
I see some fist pumps from Dr. Cyan as aboard the Dragon capsule right now. Next event coming up after the team does some safety checks is opening the side hatch. That's going to be very, very exciting. We're going to see the crew for the first time, and they're going to see Earth for the first time since 3 days ago.
Well, they've seen Earth.
They've seen Earth.
But from space. Yes. They'll see Earth from Earth now.
They'll become Earthlings again.
What you heard was some comms, just letting the crew know that they will be translating the Dragon on the nest and reorienting it into a position on Ghost Searcher so that it is in a good, stable position for them to open the hatch.
So while Dragon's top hatch houses the cupola, the astronauts will egress from Dragon's side hatch. That's what you see in the center of your screen, pending capsule orientation from the water. So before opening the hatch, the spacecraft has to equalize the cabin pressure with the outside environment. Once the hatch is open, that will be Jared, Haley, Cyan, and Chris's first breath of fresh Earth air since boarding Falcon 9 at the start of their mission on September 15th.
If you're just now joining us, you are watching the Inspiration 4 mission. The Inspiration 4 crew is back home on Earth. We have lifted Dragon with the crew onto the recovery vessel, and currently in a minute or so, they should be translating the vehicle into a position where they can open the side hatch and then perform the next steps for egressing, which will include a medical officer checking on them prior to that egress.
Yeah, and on the right-hand side of your screen, that's a live shot inside the capsule.
Dragon, translation imminent.
There it is. They are translating the vehicle to just under the helicopter pad on the vessel. Looks like they're starting to wash it down, get it clean, prepared for that hatch opening.
Yeah, this is essentially an egress or a platform for the crew members to exit. Dragon is quite large, and the side hatch is quite a bit a ways up, and so we want to make sure that when we open the side hatch, they can just comfortably get out.
And what they have there is a ladder as they prep for hatch opening. There's a few things that they do have to do here for preparation before they open up that side hatch.
Things are moving quite quickly. We splashed down about 40 minutes ago, and now Dragon is on the main recovery vessel on the right-hand side of the screen. That is, again, a live view inside of the capsule. You can't see their faces, but on the left-hand side of that shot, that's Jared Isaacman, the mission commander. To his right is Dr. Cyan Proctor, the mission pilot. To Dr. Cyan's right is Chris Zembrowski, the mission specialist, and to Jared Isaacman's left is Haley Arsenault, the medical officer of the mission. And I'm sure they're all excited to come back to Earth and probably still enjoying some in-flight entertainment, as Jared called it.
Yeah, what a crew for this mission. Just such incredible individuals, raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, doing science experiments while out in orbit, let alone just being the first all-civilian crew to go to orbit. It's just been so inspirational, and I can't wait to see them egress the vehicle shortly here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very, very exciting time. Yeah, all the science that they've done, all of that data is going to be available essentially to the public. And so, you know, all the experiments that they've done is definitely going to benefit a larger populace than just this specific mission.
Right, and so far, this mission has raised up to $157 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which is incredible. That's going to save a lot of children's lives. Just an incredible mission from start to finish here.
Dragon, stand by for side hatch opening and egress. This will be our last call from you. Congratulations, inspiration for our crew. Signing off.
Great comms. There you can see the side hatch is now officially open, and some exciting waves from the crew. Now they are putting on some protection along the hatch door for while they egress the vehicle here.
So we have members of the recovery team inside the capsule with the crew members. They're doing some checkouts, make sure everything is good before the crew can exit the capsule. But this is certainly very, very exciting. Again, that hatch has been closed and sealed for 3 days. This is the first time it's opened since we lifted off Wednesday, September 15th. And we have some fist pumps from Jared. I'm sure the entire crew is super excited.
Could see them waving. Lots of excitement from the crew as they're getting ready to egress the Dragon spacecraft. It looks like they are taking their tablets from each of the crew members in preparation for this egress. Now, there is a procedure that they will go through even now as they egress the vehicle. It won't just be all of them getting out at once. They will follow a procedure. I believe they will be starting with egress of seat 1. If you're just now joining us, you are tuned into the Inspiration 4 all-civilian mission to orbit with the Inspiration 4 crew back home on Earth, getting ready to egress the Dragon vehicle here shortly.
More exciting fist bumps.
And
this is such a great shot.
How incredible. Some hearts. Love it.
Again, that was the crew members of Inspiration 4, as excited as ever. They are back on Earth on the recovery vessel, just waiting to exit the Dragon spacecraft. Some fist bumps going around.
Again, as the crew does begin their egress, they will have a team that does help them as they egress or exit the vehicle. As they have been out in microgravity for the last 3 days, they have not felt the gravity of their own body in 3 days. So this is very standard procedure to have some support and help as they egress the vehicle. Right now, looks like they are removing the footrests at the bottom of their seats. This will give them some space as they exit.
Yeah, that is a good thing to note that when we land, we also recline the seats back down to make it a little bit easier for the astronauts and crew members to exit the vehicle.
And it looks like we have our first crew member, Haley Arsenault, egressing the vehicle. She was sitting in seat 1 to the left. She looks very excited, even if we're just looking at the backside of her SpaceX spacesuit helmet. And there she is. Medical Officer Haley Arsenault has now egressed the vehicle, the first of the Inspiration 4 crew, and so very excited. Lots of waves, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
getting a little photo up. And it looks like up next is Dr. Cyan Proctor.
Yeah, this is very exciting for the crew to be exiting the capsule and finishing their Inspiration 4 mission, a mission that's done so much for folks around the world.
Yes, absolutely inspiring all the way around. Just an incredible mission with an incredible crew.
And here comes Dr. Cyan Proctor.
There she is, excited as ever. Dr. Cyan Proctor. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Just strutting on down.
I know, no problem at all. Looks like mission specialist Chris Sembrowski is up next to egress the vehicle. Looks like some dancing there. Again, there is crew there to help them egress to make sure that they do not damage their suits or themselves on their way out.
And that is Chris Sembrowski, again, the mission specialist. Again, with a smile all over his face, super excited, ready to go.
Yeah, there we go. Last but not least, we have Commander Jared Isaacman getting ready to egress the vehicle as well. The final fourth Inspiration 4 crew member of the first all-civilian crew mission to orbit.
And what a way to close it out. He was really the person with the vision.
There he is. Commander Jared Isaacman of the Inspiration 4 crew. So excited.
Handshakes and hugs all around.
Amazing. Now they will be doing a standard procedure, going into the medical room on the recovery vessel and doing some medical checks to make sure that the crew is safe and healthy. And then they will hop on a helicopter and head back to Florida.
Yeah, well, now that Jared, Haley, Cyan, and Chris are safely back home on Earth, and getting checked out by our medical team, we're going to wrap up our live coverage of their historic return. We started this day about 2 hours ago. We had successful trunk separation. We completed a deorbit burn, closed the nose cone. We got through that blackout period of communications. Both sets of chutes deployed, awesome. And the crew splashdown, we hoisted them up, and they have just exited the vehicle.
Next up, they will catch a helicopter ride back to shore where they will be rejoined by their families. So welcome back to the Inspiration 4 crew. It has been an honor and a privilege to share their journey with all of you as we continue this new era in human spaceflight.
Yes, for updates, check out our social media. Also, be sure to donate to St. Jude. There's a donation button if you're watching on YouTube on the right-hand side of your screen. The Netflix documentary is coming out with its 5th and final episode here shortly as well, and that will conclude liftoff and splashdown return of the Inspiration 4 mission. Again, thank you to everyone that has joined us so far, and thank you everyone for following along. We'll see you next time.